What up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So last night I went to go see this whole mystery unseen screen that they were going to show at the AMC theater, and I didn't know what the hell I was going to be able to see. It was either going to be between the new film called The Marvels or the new Taika Waititi Next Goal Wins. It was either going to be one of those two because both of them had the similar runtime and it was PG-13. And I predicted it was either going to be one of those two. It was going to be one of those fit candidate. But by the time that they showed that final trailer for the Marvels, that's when I knew that they were not going to show that film during the unseen screen at the AMC theater. So little do now we know that they showed Next Goal Wins, a Taika Waititi film that is about to be coming out in theaters on November 17th, which it was not one of those movies that I was anticipating. And don't get me wrong, like I'm a massive Taika Waititi fan. I loved a lot of his work as a director because I loved what he did with What We Do in the Shadows. The Hunt for the Wilder People was a very underrated movie. Then he revived the Thor character in Thor Ragnarok, which is the best Thor film he has ever made, and that's when he became a famous filmmaker, and it set his directing name on the map. Then he directed Jojo Rabbit, that won an Academy Award, and it's my favorite Taika Waititi film. He knows how to deliver a great wacky comedy, but with also drama, and I thought he nailed it, and I loved it, and I love Thor Ragnarok. Like I said, it's my favorite Thor film. But then he worked on the episode of The Mandalorian season 1, and I thought the finale, what he did was absolutely fantastic. And he was tasked to direct a new Star Wars movie, and later we find out that it's probably not going to happen, which I don't think it will ever happen. It's unfortunate. But then he directed Thor: Love and Thunder, which I thought was my least favorite Thor film. I'm not going to lie to you, that movie was a pile of garbage. It almost felt like a SNL skit, and it felt like he went too far with the whole sanity of the comedy that felt very misplaced, and it took away the drama, and it did not work for me as a whole, and it felt very inconsistent to what they did with the characters, and especially Thor himself. But when I heard about Next Goal Wins, I mean, I knew it was on the horizon, but I wasn't that hyped about it. I was being cautiously optimistic, and hopefully that he can get back to what he knows best by doing a good sanity comedy, but also with drama at the same time. And this film is supposed to be about the taking place in back in like 2011 or 2014, where we see Michael Fassbender's character is now on the verge for ending his whole coaching career, where now he's given two choices: either one, get his career tanked, or two, he's going to have to coach the world's worst soccer team in American Samoa, which they were the worst soccer team in the world, and they never scored a goal. The most brutal they did back in like I believe like it was like 2000. Don't remember the date correctly, but they lost from 31-0. They were unorganized. They don't know how to be a team. They don't know what the hell they're doing, and the coach hired Michael Fassbender and his expertise to hopefully that they can get them organized and become a good team and even score a damn goal. And Michael Fassbender's character is like drunk and angry and upset about everything about the world, and he's just too hard-headed coach with a hot tempered, and he never wanted to go and coach that team. He did not care. And as we get through further in the film, we start to see that he's starting to warm up to the team. There are times in the movie where it felt like he was just flip-flopping, where there's one moment that he was cheering them on and getting them organized during a montage, but then there's a time where he just completely turns his back on the team. And it felt like it went on a little bit too much, but it wasn't enough to pull me out of the movie because there's a lot more in depth with the character with Michael Fassbender, and I thought that he did a great job, and I thought he was funny. And I'm a big Michael Fassbender fan, and most of his movies have not all been that good. I mean, I haven't seen all of them, but from what I've heard from movies like Assassin's Creed, for instance, it was one of his worst films he's ever been in, and he's always been having to picking the worst scripts and projects, and he has like the worst management. I'll give you my initial thoughts. I came out of the theater really liking it. I was with a bunch of crowd who went out to go see the whole mystery screening event, and a lot more people, from what I've been hearing, they were expecting to see the Marvels, but then little did they know that they were seeing Next Goal Wins. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a good time watching it. I'm not gonna say that this is Taika Waititi's best work. It's not a near level like Thor Ragnarok or Jojo Rabbit or The Hunt for the Wilder People, but it's better than Love and Thunder. There are a lot of jokes that I laughed out loud out in the theater with the crowd. A lot of people in my theater were laughing their ass off, and they had a great time in the theater. I even walked out of the theater hearing that they said that they really loved it. But I'm not going to be one of the people who thought it was one of the is that's going to be one of the best films of the year, because it's not. There are some jokes in the film that felt very misplaced at times, and it felt random, and it didn't make any sense. But there are times where I got choked out about it a lot, and there is a lot of good education with American Samoa that I did not know about, because I don't know nothing about the island or the population or the culture or the religion. But I got a kick out of it. I thought Taika Waititi did a great job of doing it, and I'll give him props for it. There were times where he becomes a little bit more of a meta during the beginning of the film, and it became a little bit rocky. And there were some of the supporting characters that felt very one-dimensional, especially with the couple of characters that are big names like Will Arnett, and the character that's playing Michael Fassbender's ex-wife. It's played by Elizabeth Moss, which you may have known her from The Handmaid's Tales, and she was in the film of a horror film called The Invisible Man, which I thought she was terrific in that film. To me, it felt like she came and went. I wish they would have added more screen time between Michael Fassbender and Elizabeth Moss's character to get the emotional impact that we were hoping for. And this is supposed to be based on the true events that happened, and it was supposed to be based on that documentary with the same name, if I remember correctly. And by the time you get to the end of the film, you definitely see the real story of how it happened. A little bit of a small flashes of the documentary, a little glimpse of it. And the heart of the film was the transgender player. It's Jaya, which I thought she had a lot more in depth of the backstory, and I was so well invested. And the team itself, I really enjoyed watching the team. I wish they would have. I wish some of them had a little bit more screen time, but there were some of them that I was just waiting to cheer them on, and hopefully they score a goal by the time you get to the third act. And I thought they did. They did great. Like I said, this is not one of Taika Waititi's best work, but it's definitely a great time to watch it in the theater with a crowd if you're someone who is a Taika Waititi fan. I really like this movie. I probably might see this movie again. I wouldn't put this as an Oscar contender or my top 5 favorite movies of the year, but it's definitely a step up to Taika Waititi as a filmmaker. And it looks like he's slowly getting back to what he knows best and getting his mojo back as a filmmaker, and for the tone of the comedy and the little bit of the drama. And I think you should definitely go out and see it when it comes out on November 17th. I know a lot of critics are getting mixed response, but I can understand why people did not like this movie. And I know it's not going to be for everybody, because there's going to be times in the film that felt way too much of a Taika Waititi film instead of telling a real life story that happened. But overall, it's still an enjoyable film to watch with a crowd. I think you should not sleep on it, and I don't think you should wait for it to go to streaming. Now, are you looking forward to the upcoming Taika Waititi film's next goal wins? And if you've seen the film and you had a chance to see the film a week before its release, what did you think of it? I would love to hear your feedback. Did it live up to your expectations, or were you someone out there that did not like it and it wasn't for you? And might be your least favorite of his Taika Waititi movies. Jump down in the comment section below and leave me your thoughts. And if you like this review, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. I would really appreciate your guys' support. If you want to follow my social media links, the link tree will be down in the description down below. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from. Stay safe and take care.